All right. Thanks everybody for joining us once again for Variant Roles Under Dark Clouds. I'm your host, Dan, the Dungeon Master at MadSci DM. And let's go around and introduce everybody. Max.
I'll be playing Farnak Stronghold, a half-orc paladin.
Excellent. Matt.
Hi, I'm going to be playing Zyrus, Halffinger, a half-elven rogue.
Great. And Kyle.
I am playing Dachi, and I play the half-orc gunslinger.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And Rachel.
I'm Oyawe, the dragonborn bookworm.
And last but not least, our player who wasn't able to join us for the start in a couple of weeks ago, Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff at Atomic Straw on Twitter, and I will be playing Wilby Hilltopple, the little halfling druid who was happily driving the caravan last episode.
Yeah, poor Wilby was just driving the caravan.
Driving and sleeping.
Yeah.
I'd also like to send out a thank you to Jocelyn Gailey, Miss_Galey on Twitter, for the Wilby art, which is perfect.
Excellent. Yes, all of our players have commissioned art for themselves and have gotten some truly outstanding results. Okay, so when last we left our motley crew, we had arrived at the town of Nightbridge, nestled along the banks of the River Taurus and sheltered beneath the massive construction that gives the town its name. A soaring bridge of gargantuan proportions that appears to be made out of a smoky and translucent crystalline material. On their way here, the Wayfarers had noticed that the ancient giant artifact they were transporting had started to grow cold, with ice crystals forming on its surface. The only time they had seen anything similar was with another artifact of the Thyrse, descendants of the ancient giants, which had resonated with some sort of elemental magic whenever a particularly powerful Thyrse was nearby. On the road, they met up briefly with a group of mercenaries who actually seemed to be transporting Thyrse prisoners, but after several mishaps related to scouting and poking their nose into other people's business, that group of mercenaries, Ormond's Owlbears, had sort of left them behind somewhere around Darkwater 6 days ago. Arriving at Night Watch, Oyawe and Daichi went to investigate the bridge, while Farnak, Zyrus, and Wilby went into town. On Jura's recommendations, the caravan master, they decided to head for the Seven Steeds Carriage House, which is reputed to have the best lamb stew in the region. So we will pick right up with Farnak, Zyrus, and Wilby, who have arrived in town. They're with their wagon and just deciding what to do.
Well, hey guys, I really think that we need to find a place to kind of put this wagon up that we don't end up seeing a whole lot of other people around, especially since what we're carrying is kind of a little dangerous.
Well, I can always leave Arcadia out here. He can message me if there's any issue. I will get it in my mind. And there will be a break from being on the caravan.
True.
We also should remove the harness from Zether. I've been talking with him, and he's quite unhappy. It's chafing a bit much for him.
Who is Zephyr?
The brown horse.
I never heard the name, so.
Well, Wilby, you can talk to the horses.
Oh yes, they. Zephyr's rather grumpy, but Zed's quite communicative. He's very happy as long as he keeps having apples.
Okay, which one's Zed?
Zed is a palmino.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see if we can find a some type of stable or something like that, and we can get these maybe wiped down and get the harnesses off of them, and maybe have a place to stick this cart.
Oh yes, that sounds quite good.
Well, where are the rest of the caravan wagons being held?
So as you look around, you can see some are going in different directions. There's a few that are all gathering at one of the main squares to start doing a little bit of trade before the end of the day. But Jura had told you where he was staying, and he took his, painted house on wheels and appears to be taking it directly to the carriage house.
I believe it would be best if we follow Jura.
Might be a good idea.
If we're going to stay there, we want to stay close as possible. If there's an issue, I can hear my goat from a kilometer or a mile and be there, but the closer the better. And your traps are still there, Osiris.
Okay, that sounds really, really good.
I'll tell him to guard the front. Your traps will protect the back. And it will allow Oiwe and Daichi, if they ever decide to follow behind, to know where we are.
And then there is Stu, yes?
Of course.
Yes.
That's why we're going there and not somewhere else.
Food sounds good.
Food that wasn't prepared on the side of the road. And a bed. My
Beds
ego
can be
is
good.
killing me.
All right. Well, let's go ahead for the stable.
All right, so you're taking the wagon to the Seven Steeds Inn.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So you approach. Jura kind of gave you instructions, and he's also headed in that area. So depending on how long you took, you could probably just follow him. But you arrive. It's a 2-story building, quite big. There's the main house, which is built. It's stone on the lower floor and timbers on the second story with a slate roof. Basically big and square, although from the outside it looks like maybe there's some kind of courtyard in the back, and so maybe it's actually U-shaped. And there is a large carriage house beside it, about the same size. It's also 2 stories, not quite as big, and you can see Jura sort of going up to the front, paying a boy or young man that's out front a little bit of money. That person is like unsaddling the horses and kind of appears to be taking charge of getting the wagon inside and the horses stabled and all of that. And then Jura goes into the main building.
Well, except for letting them take the whole wagon, I say that we kind of follow suit. Does that sound like a good idea, y'all?
Oh yes, I think this will do quite nicely.
With the height of the wagon, with the 10 foot and then probably 3 to 4 feet off the ground, will it fit inside this stable house?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like a big barn door, right? So the doors are sort of the first floor is larger than a story, right? If you know what I mean. So it's definitely meant to be able to bring wagons and big loads and that sort of thing in.
I really don't want to leave it out in the open. Easier to defend if anything happens, easier to see approaching enemies.
I'm going to pull Farnak to the side for a second. All right, once we get this thing stopped, I want to go ahead and double check all the traps and maybe add an extra one to it at some point while we leave it immobile.
I did want to check that as well. And I'm going to kind of discreetly try and cast Detect Poison mostly to see if the poison needles are still effective or if maybe the poison wears off after a while.
Okay, good point. So as you cast that and reach out, you do sense the poison coming off of the needle traps.
Okay. The needles are still very effective.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go through Dan and check the traps and just to make sure that everything's still set like it was, so that we won't have any surprises if anybody decides to fiddle with it.
Okay.
Mind the fire.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Woohoo! I like that one. How about a 21?
Oh, excellent. That's much better than a hateful 8. You're going through and, yeah, you find a few places where some of your traps had jostled a little bit with the travel on the road, not enough to have totally disarmed them, but they need a little work to sort of touch back up.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll touch him back up.
Is it icy?
No, it's not. So yeah, go ahead and give me your thieves' tools check with dexterity for sort of resetting your traps.
Oh, Hades. How about a natural 1?
All right, what trap would you have started on?
Let's see.
There's only 2, wasn't there?
Because
I'd
there's
have
2.
probably started with a needle trap first.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it would have been the easiest one, because at least, so I guess I'm going to be doing a poison check here soon.
You're going to be give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no!
Oh, crap. How about a 6?
Okay. Well, that's definitely a failure. So,
Yeah.
as you're resetting it, the needle springs off and you can feel it prick into your finger. Let's say.
And everybody around me hears me cuss horribly.
Yeah, I can imagine it's one of those things that even before the needle sticks in, what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yep, I knew it before it happened. It was like, oh, hell's bells. No.
All right. You take 5 points of poison damage.
Okay. And as I'm doing that, I'm telling Farnick, I'm in trouble.
And then you kind of just weave around a little bit and woof, fall over, like just dead weight slapping against the bottom of the wagon. Your head kind of cracks into the floorboards and you are unconscious.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's a potent trap.
It worked.
It could have
I
been
thought we
worse.
were having stew before sleeping.
Uh,
It could have been worse. There was a vial of alchemist's fire. At least it's not on fire.
change of plans, guys.
Very good, yes.
So I walk over and I'll heal the 5 points with my lay on hands. Give him a
All
little light gauntleted tapping.
Yeah. So that removes his sort of unconscious condition. You wake up sort of groggily, so you don't heal the hit points. The 5 points sort of removes your unconscious condition,
Okay.
but you are still poisoned. You think that's going to last. It'll wear off eventually, but you feel just kind of queasy and sick and a little shaky.
And I need to find an outhouse very soon.
I keep my hand on him and I pump another 5 into him for the poison.
Okay.
And that still doesn't help the damage.
No, because 5 points to remove a condition. So
And your traps are very effective.
I'll give him a healing word. Just-
All right. So am I back up to full now, Dan? Or
you are, yeah. Between the two of them, they've got you repaired. So let's cut over to Daichi and Oyawe, where you guys are at the bridge.
Oyawe is kind of losing her mind, like eagerly hopping up and down. It's very weird for a dragonborn.
That would make you look more like a kobold.
Yeah, so to remind everybody, you had discovered that the bridge has some sort of like plane shifting type magic imbued in it, among other properties. So you could tell that the bridge, like the crystal that it's made out of, was pulled directly out of the realm of shadows and solidified shadow stuff into this material bridge. And you do know that, yes, once a year on the conjunction, with the proper ritual, the bridge can be activated to turn into a shadow crossing.
I didn't write that. I didn't hear that last time. But the material was actually from the shadow plane.
That's right, yeah.
Material from... I mean, yeah, she's literally going to explain it to Daichi, but it's going to be like... nerd, oh my gosh, I'm talking so fast, I'm not even taking a breath, and it's just not stopping. It's one long continuous sentence. Oh my gosh. Ah!
Dachi is just nodding along.
Probably not even listening.
Yeah, it's just like
It's old magic.
old magic.
Is there? I don't know if there's anything else I can get from it. Because I used detect magic and I used identify,
That's right.
which got me all the information. So I think I'm good. Definitely gonna draw on my sketchbook what it looks like. Before she insists that they go back.
Yeah,
But
and I think part of that, when you did the detect magic and could see the magical aura, what you could actually see was embedded into the crystal and normally invisible all along the bridge as far as you could see. You could start seeing glowing glyphs. And so that's what was actually emanating the magic. And it was in a really intricate design, and they're all connected to one another with lines, so it forms this web across the entire bridge.
okay.
It's a very elaborate ritual.
Do you want to go back? Because I might just stay here and write down every single little magical rune that I can see. I have 10 minutes. Actually, it's 10 minutes, right?
Well, you would have to cast it again, because you would cast that before identify.
Yes. I can cast it again. So I can, as long as I use it as a ritual, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Takes 10 minutes to cast it.
If you want to go back, I will. I'm gonna kind of.
You're dragonborn in the middle of a human. I'm not gonna let you just wander by yourself.
What?
Who knows what trouble you can get into.
But fine, whatever. So I'll cast detect magic again, and I'm literally gonna stare at the glyphs and runes on the bridge, and record everything in the book as to what they are. So if I come across them later, I can figure it out.
Yeah, so even with 10 minutes, you only cover sort of a few feet of the bridge, right, as you sketch it. And you can tell that it covers the entire thing. And this literally goes from, it's more almost like an overpass, right? Because it goes from one hill on one side of the river to another hill on the other, as opposed to the few bridges you've seen of more recent construction, which are kind of more typical, right, across pilings or whatever, spanning the main part of the river itself.
Are the glyphs like repeating, or is it different, like as I go?
Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
Okay. I don't know if I'd have proficiency in this anyway. My brain is not working. Oh, so just okay.
Yeah, so it'll default just to intelligence.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's not as good as my Arcana was. That's fine. Oh, that's a nothing. That's a 4.
Yeah. So you're not sure. You're kind of too busy sketching the glyphs to notice any patterns. And you also haven't really covered enough of the bridge to be sure. Certainly any of the ones you've drawn haven't repeated.
Are you sure you want to stay here? Because this is going to take me a while.
What, are you planning to spend the entire night just going down across the bridge?
No.
So I would say if you wanted to attempt that sort of thing, you figure it would take more than a day's work.
Oh, then I'm just gonna collect what little I have for now, because hunger, probably. This is cool. I really don't feel like spending more than a day on it. There's important stuff to do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, she's going to begrudgingly leave the bridge. So let's go find the others.
All right. So you start making your way back down. All right. So back at the carriage house, Farnak, Zyrus, and Wilby. Max, we can't hear you.
Did we pay when we entered? Was there a fee we had to pay, or was it covered by Dra?
Oh, it's definitely not going to be covered by Jura, but you hadn't even actually approached anybody yet. You started working on your wagon out in the middle of the street.
But that was
Great. Everybody got to see me fall out.
Now they'll think you're a joke and won't know what a threat you are.
No, that's true. That's good.
There's a boy of about 13 standing at the entrance to where the wagons were going in, which isn't the main inn. And he's kind of just like looking quizzically at the wagon, wondering if you're planning on bringing it in and what's going on.
Wilby, do you want to take care of this?
Oh, yes. So I'll pull the wagon up towards him and get off and kind of pat each of the horses and then hand the reins to him and say, we would like to stay here, yes.
All right. Well, it's going to be 5 silver for stabling your horses and storing the wagon.
Oh, yes. Very good. And I'll hand him over the 5 silver.
All right. Thank you. Been a while since I last saw a halfling traveling through.
Oh, yes. This is my first time here.
We get some of the traveling folk come through once in a while, but they travel in those real bright painted wagons, play lots of instruments.
Oh, yes. Those are very pretty. I like those, yes.
Yeah, that's most of the halflings we get through here.
Yes. They are rambunctious sort, some of them. Yes.
Oh, they certainly are. There was a big brawl in the last time they were here.
Oh, no. I hope
Yes.
nobody got injured.
Oh, well, they played so much music, everyone got right roaring drunk, they did.
Oh, yes. That would be.
Ava wasn't too mad. They made a lot of money that night.
I am sure they did, yes.
All right, well, thank you. Well, what are your horses' names?
These are Zether and Zed.
Oh, Zephyr and Zed. And he like kind of pets them, and he reaches to a bag beside him and pulls out a couple of apples that he feeds the horses.
Zed in particular really likes apples, yes.
Oh yes, I always found that even the grumpiest horse takes to me right good if he has an apple.
Yes, Zether might be a little bit more of a problem.
Oh, we'll make sure we lead them in and take care of them good. They get lots of hay and water and apples and oats.
That sounds very good. Thank you.
And he sort of just doffs his cap again and takes the
I'll
reins.
actually toss him another silver too. See.
Thank you. He tucks that away, and you kind of notice he tucks it in a different pocket than he had put the 5 coins from before. And he turns away and sort of, leads the wagon trundling in. You can see in the interior of this space, it's quite large, and there's wagons parked at different spots, and there's various stables that horses are in.
Oh yes, I am sure things will be very nice here.
I stick 6 silver in Arcadie's mouth, and I just send her the mental message, go check yourself in. About the wagon.
So, Arcadie the goat kind of trots in behind.
Oh, Lord. All right, I'm going to hand another extra silver piece to the boy. Tell him, come here, boy.
Yeah.
Please
Yes.
please keep a good eye on that wagon. If you see anybody messing around with it, please come find me immediately.
Oh, of course. And he kind of tucks that away again in one of his pockets. I always look after the wagons right good. Not good for business if people's goods get stolen. We got lots of merchants coming through.
True.
I'll be sure to make sure everything is right safe, and if anything happens, we'll come and get you.
All right. Thank you very much.
And he scurries off back to his work, sort of, getting the horses unbridled and, taking the reins and traces and everything off.
Yes, this is a very good place, is what it is. All will be good here, I am sure.
Well, I'm starving and I'm not going to wait for the others. Shall we head in?
Yes, I hear they have very good stew.
All right, so you head over to the main building, and the door swings open easily, You find yourself in an entryway. Initially, there's some cloaks and stuff hung up on pegs, and things kind of set around, wet weather gear, that sort of thing. And you first come into a couple of dining rooms, and you see sort of mostly just people in ones and twos seated at tables. And then from at the back, you can hear some noise of like clinking glasses, and you think there's more of a tavern sort of pub area at the back. Jura's at one of the tables, and he's like, seems to be eating some stew.
I'll start making my way to the back to where it looks like a tavern is.
Okay.
I've still got my detect poison up.
Yep. You don't detect anything?
All right. I follow after Wilby.
Okay.
I'm just going to follow in behind Wilby and Farnack.
All right. So you guys make your way to the back, and the tavern portion is relatively empty. There's probably about a half dozen people seated at different tables, most alone. There's a couple of tables with a pair, and there is a sort of frazzled looking woman at the bar, and she's got an apron on, sort of blondish hair, and she's sorting around with glasses and that sort of thing.
Ava, I presume.
She looks up. Yes. Welcome to the Seven Steeds.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to finally be off the road. It's been quite a while.
Oh, yes.
What seems to be the problem?
And she just kind of looks around. No problem.
I'm going to insight this because that just doesn't seem right. Okay, no, only a 7.
Yeah, I mean, she seems frazzled, a little harried, but beyond that, you're not sure. As you guys move around, you notice, though, that the fires are all going. They're stoked quite high, but it does appear to be relatively cool to cold in the room despite the fires. And sort of the same with the dining room area up front.
From my experience with undead, could I know to use my divine sense?
So you definitely would know that cold from undead is not unusual.
Okay, so yeah, I'll pop one of those off. There's no somatic or material components. It's just a ingrained ability, so it's very discreet.
Yeah, I imagine it probably does a little concentration and sort of a bit of prayer, but it can be silent prayer. And it's 60 feet?
Yes.
Okay. So you reach out with your senses, and everything on, here, the bottom floor that you can detect seems fine. But as your senses go upwards a little bit, you get sort of just a faint ping.
Oh, undead specific?
Yes.
Gonna pull out a little bit of paper and a piece of charcoal and just kind of scribble on it. Are they listening? And kind of just flash it from my palm.
She looks at it and tilts her head, and
I look up.
Who? They?
I crumple it up and just kind of put it in the bag. No. She seems harried. I'm just gonna think on this. What are Wilby and Zyrus doing?
I'm kind of wondering what you're doing, actually.
Wilby would be getting a little impatient with this and look at her and say, "We hear you have lamb stew."
Oh yes, we do.
And I assume ale that goes with it. Yes.
Oh yes, ale too.
Yes, we would like that.
Okay, great. And are you looking to stay? Looking for rooms?
Yes.
All right. I can put you in the upper floor of the carriage house. We're full up here in the inn proper itself right now.
Okay.
Carriage
How,
house?
how much is it?
Well, if we want all your meals and everything included, we typically charge a gold piece, and that includes all your meals, a drink with each meal. Any other drinks beyond that are up to you.
All right, that sounds good. I'll go ahead and hand her a gold piece.
Farnak's gonna head back out to the front, and is there like a bartender or waiter up front as well?
No.
No one else. Okay, but Jura's in the front area?
Juror's in the front. He's eating some stew.
Okay, I'll just go saddle up next to him and go, if you see the others come in from our group, would you send them to the back, please?
Oh, well. All right, then. Can do that.
They shouldn't be too far behind. I just don't want them to get lost.
No problem. Stew's good. Little light. Serving size a little bit smaller than usual, but still good.
It's rather cold in here tonight.
Yeah, I can't seem to get rid of the chill. Strange. Doesn't appear to be that damp and cold out.
Has this ever happened before?
Oh, well, I mean, you travel. Some places get cold and drafty. Stew warms the bones.
Indeed. A bit watered down, though, you say. And I hope it doesn't disappoint. We'll be...
Not watered down. I said small.
Small.
Light portions.
That doesn't sound satisfying. Well, I guess I'll find it when I taste. We'll be in the back if you look for us.
All right, then.
We're getting rooms above the stable house. How about yourself?
Oh, the same. They said they were full in here.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't look that full, but maybe people are out doing business.
What was the number I had gotten?
In the back?
Yeah, from the above us when we were in the back.
Oh, for the undead? Just one.
Just the one, okay. Okay, I'll head back to the others and sit down with them to wait for the stew.
Okay. And eventually one of the sort of serving girls kind of comes out from the back, bustles in with some stew. There's a little bit of bread with it. The bowls are about like half full. There's a little bit of bread and some ale that she plops down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. There you go. Happy to help.
Dan, am I going to notice that Farnak's kind of acting a little odd?
Probably.
Okay. When we kind of get by ourselves, I'm going to kind of go across the table to him and go, what's going on?
Something here is unnatural.
Unnatural? How so?
Dead, but not dead.
Oh, that is not good.
No.
Just one.
Any idea where?
Above us, directly. Above this tavern.
That means he's got to be on the second floor.
And didn't just wander in here, so it's more than a zombie.
All right.
I look up at the roof. Are there cracks and holes in the roof?
Make an investigation check.
I'm going to start kind of casing the joint too, just kind of seeing where the stairwell up is and other things.
Okay. So when you were in the back, you noticed that sort of in the back, like left hand kind of corner, when you enter that region, that there was a staircase going up. And there was a door leading out into a small courtyard in behind the building as well.
That check was a 21.
Okay. You don't notice any cracks, but you do, as you look up, you can see faint glimmers of like hoarfrost on part of the ceiling.
I'll kind of point that out to Farnak and point up.
This may not be related to what I've seen before, but that can't be a good sign at all.
Yes, I
Um,
agree.
I'm
Most
going to kind of quickly finish my stew up, and then I'm going to kind of stretch a little bit and start walking back towards the outside courtyard door.
Okay.
And I'm going to kind of go out back, act like I'm going to go for a walk.
Mm-hmm. So when you pop open the door, it's just a small courtyard. There's some grass and there's a well in the middle.
Okay. I'm going to kind of wander over to the well and kind of look around there and see if I can see anything. What time of day is it now anyway?
It would be sort of early evening, but the sun hasn't quite gone down yet.
Okay, so I'd have a little bit of light.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of investigation then.
Okay.
At 11.
All right. The water looks dark.
Unnaturally dark or just dark?
It's hard to tell. It's, whether it's a combination of the light or something else. There is a bucket sitting there, attached to a rope and, all that sort of thing.
Okay, just for grins, I'm going to drop the bucket in the well.
Okay. So you drop it in,
Right.
It tips and sinks.
All right, and I'm going to start rolling it up.
All right. And you winch it up. Some water's sloshing out of it as it creeps up, and then it's sitting there.
Nothing.
So when you pull it over and look at it, it does seem unnaturally dark.
Okay, I'm kicking the bucket back down in the well and walking back inside.
And there was like a little bit of mist rising off of it, sort of like as if the water was really cold.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to kick it back in and walk back inside.
Ava, pardon me.
Yeah, yes, yeah. What can I do for you?
We heard there was it was a festival, some convergence.
Oh, well, the convergence happened about 6 nights ago. It's not a festival.
Never witnessed it. A boy spoke highly of wanting to see it, so thought it might be something of a spectacle. Did anything interesting happen that night?
And she kind of wanders over to one of the tables and kind of just like plops down, and she starts rocking back and forth a little bit, and she just says, the shadow, it came, went up the stairs, up the stairs, up the stairs, up the stairs.
Oh,
Shadow up the stairs.
we're staying in a horror house.
Yay. Okay.
Walk over and I'll try and calm her down.
She is just rocking back and forth. And she's just repeating, she's locked in, up the stairs, shadow, up the stairs.
I broke the waitress and the owner.
All right.
Oyaway and Daichi, at this time, it's probably about 30 minutes or so have passed, and you enter the town. And you come in, you can see some of the wagons, some familiar looking wagons from the caravan. You don't see your wagon.
We packed it away.
You shitbags.
We gotta get the guardists. You guys ain't going near it.
Oh no.
Well, it don't look like we got anywhere else to be going.
See, this is why I need my sending spell. You say it's not useful.
That's true. Could have IM'd him.
I could have ethereal Twittered him and figured out where the heck you guys are. Is there anyone from our wagon?
You see a couple of caravans that look kind of familiar, people you've been traveling on the road with.
Okay, I'll ask them if they know where the rest of our group went, or even Jorah, because Jorah might know. Not Jorah.
You don't see Jura.
Jorah.
No, asking where Jura
Ask,
went.
ask her where Jura went, so because he might know where. Or
Oh, okay. Yeah. So one of the fellow guards kind of turns over. He's, grizzled, older, has got a scar, battered armor. And he just looks over and goes, "Well, I don't recall where your people went to, but Jura, when he's in town, he likes to stay over at the Seven Steeds. Claims that their stew is good. I find it too spicy myself, but he seems to like it."
Hungry dragonborn is hungry. All right.
That place is a little above my pay grade. I like to stay somewhere cheaper, where the company is a little more accommodating.
I ain't sure exactly what that meant.
Neither do I. But let's go find the others. Thank you for telling us.
Women I can pay to keep me warm.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought you
That
meant.
makes
Okay,
a lot more sense.
Yep.
now.
All right. You got the one who doesn't have the social customs, and the one who is just like bookworm. Poof, everything goes over her head.
Oh, well,
You guys pay for that down here?
well, people pay for it all over.
We do.
It's not illegal.
I wasn't saying it was.
He's got weird customs. Ignore
It's a
him.
respectable trade. I travel
it
a
is.
lot.
You don't have to explain yourself to us.
Not married. Ain't got no family.
Thank you for telling us where Jura is. We're gonna head that way.
I can sense the judgment in your voice.
Judging, I am just super excited to get some food. I am starving.
Well, there's good food all over. I'm going to go over to that street vendor over there. And he points to a cart where someone appears to be serving up some sort of hot soup or stew in bread bowls.
Dachi looks over and is like, Is that the company that you're going to be paying for?
No, that's the fish cart.
I'm just
I'm
gonna.
going to get some fish stew, fresh caught right out of the river. Delicious. A nice cream sauce.
That actually sounds pretty good.
A little bit of leeks.
How much does this stuff cost?
Oh, like a couple of copper for a bowl.
Cool. He gives him a silver and goes over and buys himself some.
You gave the guy who was giving us directions, even though he's a part of our caravan troop.
Yeah, he likes
So-
the fish soup.
Okay. All right.
Let's fish.
He takes the silver and just kind of shrugs, "Your money," tucks it away.
I was like,
You just bought a guy a hooker.
you just got him an excellent hooker.
I don't know.
Stay warm tonight.
Oh God.
And he goes and he gets himself a bowl of fish stew and just walks beside way all the way back to the inn, nomming on some stew.
We'll head towards the Seven Steeds where Jura is.
All right.
Did I write his name?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, oh, you know what? I didn't write it down because I didn't go with the others to go meet him.
Well, you've been traveling with him for like
I know.
9 days.
No.
Yeah, but that's a suit that you're always looking anywhere but her book.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not a book, so
That's true. He is not a book.
That's true. How do you spell that? Is it just Jurah?
Yep. No, just
Okay.
A, no H.
Oh. Caravan Master.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you.
And Daichi, the fish stew, is thick and creamy and warm and quite delicious. And you can even
Try
eat the bowl afterwards.
Now this is a bread. That's a bowl. It's a bowl bread.
Other way around, I think.
Is that what you guys call it?
Bread bowl. I've never had one, but I've heard about it in my extensive research of everything.
You know what? I actually believe that. Just starts chewing on the bread bowl now.
All right, we're gonna head on over to the Seven Steeds.
All right. So you guys wander over and find the building easily enough. You know, people point it out. The town's a bit bigger, but it's still pretty easy to navigate. And there is a carriage house beside the inn where you can see like a young boy, young teenager essentially out front who appears to be waiting for anybody coming by with horses and that sort of thing. And the main inn with a closed door.
All right, are you ready? I'm assuming you're still like nibbling on that bread bowl there.
Yeah, he's still got half the bowl. He's just like, it's good.
All right, let's go.
They don't have a sign saying no food, no outside food.
So you guys pop the door open, and there's an entryway. You can see some cloaks and things like that hung on pegs. And there's a door kind of off to your right that appears to lead into a dining room. You can hear some sounds and some familiar voices.
Oh, there we go.
We're here.
Oh, she literally like just poke her head in, like just her head and nothing else.
Yeah, you can see your companions at a table. You can see Jura at another table by himself.
Dodgy, what is that?
Oh, I can't hear you.
It's a bowl made out of bread.
They have those?
I know, right? I saw it and I was like, why would you not make this?
I don't understand. No. I wish I had gotten one of those instead of coming here and finding out there's an undead creature above us.
Most appropriate, yes.
I hope you didn't yell that across the whole tavern.
I wait for them to get close enough for me to notice the bowl, because he would just have it in his mid, just...
Good.
Still, though, when you say undead above us...
Yeah, I don't want to say undead tavern and watch everybody run over us.
Well, Jura swings around and his eyes go wide, and he said, What's this you say now about undead? What?
Just a figure of speech. Just a figure of speech.
Oh, he is always talking about undead, yes.
It's a running joke. Don't worry.
Right.
It's just a character.
He gloriously failed his insight check, so...
Thank God.
Oh,
It's a term for being old.
well, that's mighty strange.
We actually, I don't know. Well, she thinks he's cool. We actually have one back at our guild. He's our librarian. Yeah.
That is unnatural, madame.
Adventurers.
Oh, yes.
Even for adventurers, consorting with the undead is despicable and unnatural. Dabbling in the dark arts like that inevitably leads to corruption.
That's what I said.
Yes, but we have an unlimited supply of books now with amazing information. The only thing creepy about him is his laugh, and I actually don't mind the laugh.
That is always how it starts, consorting with dark powers for gain to do good. That'll lead you down a dark path.
At least he's not killing us now. We can easily get rid of them if we need to.
Why are we talking about this?
I don't know.
So perhaps the 5 of us should take a food in the back.
Yes, we need more ale.
We're going to need a lot more ale.
Will be.
Yes.
Will be.
Yes.
The bridge is amazing.
Is it? It's
Yes.
so interesting as we went by.
No, I got to look at the actual magic itself. It was amazing.
What did you see?
Bridge. I actually saw the magic that wove it together.
Oh, very interesting. Yes. What kind of magic was it?
Transmutation.
Oh, that is most fascinating.
Actually, yeah. I'm actually gonna we should get some food. Well, I should get some food because you already ate, jerk. But
I'm still hungry.
You're still hungry. Okay. I thought the dragonborn would be the bottomless pit of hunger. But there's more we should really talk about that probably shouldn't talk about out loud.
Oh,
I point
yes.
up at the frost on the ceiling.
You
Yeah,
have to really peer to notice it, but once it's pointed out, you can.
Okay. I'm also going to mention the fact that about the well out back.
As we're looking at the frost, I'll kind of look at Eliwa, and that is not your work, yes?
No. Darn it. I wanted to make more snow sculptures.
Look, I don't really study the undead. That's more your expertise. Do you know anything about creatures that create cold and mist that are... And don't mention it to the lady in the corner.
Or apparently to our caravan master.
Did you go? Did you guys go to the back?
Yeah, we went to the back.
Okay, yeah. So Ava is still at the table, kind of nearby, and you can hear her muttering still as she rocks back and forth. The shadow, up the stairs, the
Ow.
shadow.
Send her a little of the balm of the summer court to try comfort her. So.
Okay, and so it just does regular healing.
Yeah, but just the idea of summer court and warm.
Yeah. Make a medicine check.
Medicine check, okay. Oh wow, I have good medicine. That's a dirty 20.
Okay, so as you reach out with this sort of healing, soothing presence of the Fae, you can see her like relax a little bit, and she stops muttering and rocking, but she doesn't come around. She still appears kind of almost catatonic as she's just kind of staring into space, but she's not agitated.
And then I'll just go back to my stew.
Oh, that means I can't get any food because she's gone. Oh.
I broke her.
And what appears to be the serving girl is kind of over, like, kind of tending to her, kind of looking at you guys sideways.
I'm not gonna bother her then. Okay. I'll just maybe hope there's still some fish stew after I tell everyone what's going on. So if we can kind of go over to the corner where we won't have anyone listening to us, hopefully. I say hopefully. Just keep an eye out for people getting too close, or making weird faces. So the bridge definitely connected to the conjunction, that 3 moon eclipse that we had a while back, not too long ago. The story that the boy told us about the bridge turning into a pathway, it's real. There's a ritual connected to the bridge that opens up a pathway to the realm of shadow.
And something must have come through.
Wait, what? Is that what she's muttering about?
It might have been.
Jura says this is not common. The cold and...
What cold? I feel completely comfortable.
Now, as you look around, you notice that, I mean, you do find it comfortable, but you look around and see that there's roaring fires, and it is not the temperature it should be in the room.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Still really nice, but...
The land of shadow, you say?
Yeah. The night bridge turns into a pathway to the realm of shadows. It's the ritual to open the pathway or the portal to the shadow realm. It's locked. And it's only during the conjunction, which happens once a year, which was the other day, that portal can be opened. But if you're saying something possibly came through and something is bothering this place, then something must have happened.
Back when we were in the main area, did I notice if anyone else looked agitated?
Make an insight check.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Is a 17.
Some of the guests, not everybody, but about half or so of the people in the building, as well as all of the staff, are acting strangely.
Here's my question. Because Zyra said something weird about the water as well.
Yes.
In the well.
In the well.
You know what I meant.
It's more wet than it should be.
Do we take care of it? And B, if we do, who's to say they won't give us permission to?
The one
They could.
knowledge on what could be doing this. This is not any undead I've dealt with.
Sure. Intense reading of almost everything I can muster. Would I know anything about this? What sort of roll should I make, Dan?
Make a religion check.
Oh, religion check. Proficiency?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely with your background as a cleric.
Okay. See, I'm confused because last game you were doing just intelligence, wisdom, charisma, and now you're actually saying the skills.
Yeah, because it was just awkward. So it's still the backgrounds as proficiencies, but I'm switching to calling the skills their name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I should just go with what it says on my thing then?
But still, well, yes, but that's because we just assume that your backgrounds by default would apply to those. But still, if you feel your background should give you proficiency in a check, we're still using the backgrounds as proficiencies.
I already have proficiency in religion, so.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a 19.
Okay.
Nice.
So you know that cold being associated with undead is pretty clear and pretty relatively common. And the shadow realm as well. And there is a relationship between the shadow realm or the shadow fell and undead as well. Not a one-to-one relationship, but there is a connection there. And so this kind of cold can be kind of associated with both.
Given my familiarity with the Fae and association with Queen Star and Shadow, would I know anything about?
Similarly, give me either a religion or arcana check. Whichever one works out better for you.
Yeah. So religion, that will be a 14.
Okay. So you know that the Queen of Star and Shadow, who is the head of the sort of shadow or dark fae with which the drow are associated as well, although not in an evil sense. Our drow are different. She does have a connection to the realm of shadow as well as to the fae realm. And it's almost a little bit of a... Put it this way, if she had an icon relationship with the shadow realm, it would be conflicted. So she's more closely aligned with the fae realm, but her powers do draw a little bit on that idea of shadow. And so she often acts as a guardian sort of the gateway with the shadow realm. She doesn't have any association with the dead or any of those aspects of it, but in the idea of keeping particularly strong creatures from shadow from crossing over into the world, she kind of works to prevent that while still drawing on those powers herself and with some of her minions.
So with the bridge here, I would probably assume that she has a strong presence here.
She probably has some sort of connection. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be, sort of as you kind of tap into your own feelings and connections, you don't sense a direct presence.
Okay.
At least not at the moment.
Right. Well, this does not seem like a normal occurrence. Do you not think it's coincidence we are here when this is happening?
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that the convergence happened 6 days ago.
Oh, yes.
That makes more sense to me. But,
But
I'm not that smart in these things.
What was the name of the child again? Gerund?
Way back in Darkwater?
Yeah.
Gerund.
And Jaren mentioned that sometimes things do come through. Once, I believe he talked about a cow, a possessed cow. That's why I don't want to just storm in. There was
possessed cow.
There was something that had come through.
I thought something caused their cow to go crazy. And
yeah, the crazy cow. Yes. Okay.
Nothing came through. It just caused their cow to go crazy, I thought.
If something came through and caused it to go crazy. The reason I don't want to just storm up there, we don't know what it could be. We've dealt with shadows, we've dealt with zombies, we've dealt with, well, we have a white at our home base. None of them have caused cold.
While
knows?
everybody's been talking, Tachi's just been slowly removing his armor till his breastplate.
Well, we have myself and Oiwe here. We have specialties when it comes to dealing with this, and from the general demeanor of the staff, I doubt they would complain.
I hope not.
I look over at Ava and, oh yes, I think we could help.
But it's been here for 6 days that we know of. And who knows what it could be doing, just sitting in this room. Does it attack the town? Doesn't seem like anyone's stirred up about death.
From what I've seen, at least before Wilby gave her some solace, it's just making people unsettled. It just came in and made itself at home and hasn't done anything.
Maybe it's not strong enough yet.
Well,
It's
who's to say
feeding.
if we do something, it won't retaliate and hurt others.
So as you guys are sitting around talking at the table, the serving girl who was sort of tending to Ava kind of turns around towards you guys, and she kind of stands up and she's shaking a little bit, and she just yells, "I can't leave! We can't leave!"
I think we need to take this thing out.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we do need to do something about this thing, whatever it may be.
What it might be, Adachi, I'm guessing by this point, has removed enough of his armor to just have the breastplate, so he's no longer half plate.
Sure.
I'm no longer clinking around. Cyrus and I can go upstairs all quiet like, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes bad, you'll know. And then you two clankers can come up and do your stuff.
While he's doing that, I'd like to kind of interview her as just as gently and less traumatic than I did with Ava.
Okay.
Barnack talking with people never goes well.
Song of truth.
No.
No.
I'm just going to look at her and ask, did you see it?
And she looks back at you, and she sort of grabs both sides of your head, and she goes, 6 days ago, the shadow rose. It came in. We can't leave. It went up the stairs, and she collapses.
What the fuck?
I catch her.
Make a dex save.
Okay,
Oh, God.
that should be good.
Barnack.
The line underneath, that's good old 5.
Yep, you're like, but she just like, she's kind of small, and she slips out, kind of collapses to the ground.
Everyone's falling down today.
Yeah,
I'll set her up kind of proper in a chair or slumped over the table just to keep her off the cold floor. This isn't going to look good if anyone walks in and sees this.
I'll give her Bone of the Summer Court too, since it seemed to help Eva.
Yeah, and she was like sort of twitching around a little bit, and she goes stiller, kind of relaxes a bit, but she's still sort of unconscious.
Now turn to Cyrus. You said the well water was unusually cold, yes?
Yes, it was. It was also extremely dark looking, like midnight black, kind of dark.
Perhaps we should check that out first.
And so around the same time, about half of the people in the room sort of all speak at once, sort of simultaneously. And they just say, 6 days, he won't leave. He wants something, but we don't know what. And then they all kind of just go still and like slump forward at their tables.
Right, I'm gonna go upstairs and check out the undead.
No, don't just.
And as
Yeah,
you're approaching the stairs, there is a window-shattering howl from the courtyard out back. Just like a large dog-like or wolf-like howl, followed closely by a second one that just the windows and the walls seem to vibrate with the strength of it.
I'm gonna head for the courtyard then.
yeah,
I think we need to.
Farnak, make an intelligence check.
I have a feeling I've heard this before.
Oh,
Natural
no.
20.
You sure have.
Oh no. Oh god. Helmet, lid
And-
down.
And there is, as you are getting that down, the back door bursts open in splinters, closely followed by a large black hound with sort of a streak of bluish white on its head that comes just careening through. It had shoulder checked the door, sending it into splinters, and like careens into the room, followed by a second one that looks quite similar. And they're both about the size of a small pony. They are large creatures, and I need you all to roll initiative.
Cats.
Howling as shit, man.
All right.
There we go.
Mother of gracious goodness. Ugh. 5.
Just a second, I'll...
Okay.
Five. Okay.
Yes.
Farnak.
17.
Oyawe.
12.
Daichi.
19.
Wilby.
10.
Okay. So you guys are looking as these two dogs burst in, these large hounds, and they both look at you and then look up the stairs. And you can see them sort of positioning their bodies towards the stairs. But there's space and people and tables and things like that in between them and the stairs. Daichi, you are the first to go. What are you doing?
Trying to go up the staircase and only hearing the door blow up to see the dogs jump through. Turns and shoots at them.
Okay.
Poor puppy dogs.
So yeah, we're gonna shoot at one with 2 sharpshooter shots.
Okay.
18 and 20. Dirty 20.
Those both hit.
My good friend. 35. Oh, wait, really? 13. 41 points of damage.
41. So we got what? 10 for...
It is 4 plus 4 plus 8 plus 5 plus 20 for the sharpshooter.
Oh, the
Oh,
20
you-
from the sharpshooter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because it's plus 10 for each of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say there. You were going 8, 8, 5, and I was like, "How's this getting to 41?" Oh yeah, sharpshooter.
Because he's a special snowflake.
It's
one of the
Kyle,
most-
man.
Yeah, it's one of the most insane feats in the game.
It really is.
Yeah. All right. So there's just a resounding double crack as the smoke billows out, and 2 of your lead balls punch into one of these creatures right in the shoulder. There's a spray of blood, which you can see sort of steam rising up in the air as it swings its head, and its eyes are glowing blue as it looks at you. Farnak.
Remembering these and remembering what they can do, he's very afraid that they're about to unleash on the crowd. So would he be able to get through the crowd of probably panicked people?
So yeah, I mean, about half of them are slumped forward unconscious,
Okay.
and the other half are now going into a panic.
Okay. So could I make it up there and get my attacks off?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to run for the one that just took the bullets to the shoulder and go in with flail. That's going to be a 14.
14 does not hit.
Okay, so
Slips out of the way.
Going with the second one. That's better. That's a 19.
That does.
Okay, so. And because it hit, I'm going to drop one of my first level. And my first level spell to do my Divine Strike.
Yep.
And that is a 2, 7, and 4. So 13 plus 3. So 16 damage.
Okay. All right, so your flail cracks into the shoulder, and there's this explosion of divine energy as it hits. And it sort of swings its head up to you, and you can see frost sort of foaming around its mouth. Oyawe.
I'm really interested in figuring out what this is, and is there any way I could do like a check?
Make a Arcana check.
Okay. All right. Oh, fuck you, dice.
That's why you gotta stop rolling it like
Well, I'm sorry. I don't have a dice tray, do I?
you can use mine.
Oh, that is a 5.
It is a big... It's a big black dog. You know of several. Hellhounds, Shadowhounds, a few
yeah,
different
all right.
things.
I'm literally just gonna stand there because I clearly saw them look up at the stairs and not look at us. So I'm gonna be like, I don't want to fight this if I don't have to.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hold my action until something comes from downstairs or we can make it upstairs,
All right.
if possible.
Okay. So the one that's just been shot and then flailed swings its head towards Farnak.
I'm about to get Oiway on Daichid.
And as it sort of just opens its mouth and this frost swirls around and it exhales this cone of frost and ice crystals that just buffet around Farnak and do catch some of the patrons that are around in the vicinity as well. I need Farnak to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah. That is a great 11.
All right. So, yeah, you go to like get out of the way, but you're still caught full blast as this cone rips through and you take 44 points of cold damage.
Yep. Same amount I took last time was 41.
Burned me to a crisp.
Frostburn. All right. I'll take that damage.
Okay. And the other one sort of leaps around and kind of moves partially towards the stairs, but turns around a little bit to get towards Daichi, who was shooting at its companion. And it also opens its mouth and just exhales this blast of cold again, which catches some of the people in the room. And Daichi, I need you to make a dex save.
Oh, Lord.
23.
Okay. So
May have done that one.
Yeah, so you mostly get out of the way. So you only take 22 points of cold damage. But you can,
Please don't catch me.
but you can see some of the patrons basically get frozen into popsicles that were around that got caught by these blasts. But then it sort of whirls away and uses the little movement that it has remaining to head towards the stairs.
Oh, I should have started heading towards the stairs. Shoot.
Will be.
I am turning into a panther.
Okay. Wilby, you do know something about these creatures, just based on your icon connection.
What?
They're hounds of night. They are essentially the personal hunting dogs, as it were, of the Queen of Star and Shadow.
Oh, Lord.
They're a
Interesting.
little indiscriminate.
Okay.
But you know that when they have an objective that they carry out that objective to the best of their ability, regardless of what gets in their way. And you transform into a panther.
Yeah. I'll turn into a panther, and I will try to, if I can, leap ahead of them on the stairs,
Okay.
and just turn around and look at them.
Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check for sort of moving through the crowded area and like leaping over the tables and that sort of thing.
Okay, acrobatics. Well, that's a -1.
Wait a minute. Wait, would you use your stats or the Panther
It'd be the
stats?
Panther stats.
Panther. Never mind. So that's a 16.
Okay. Yeah. So you sort of bound and spring forward, clattering over tabletops, and jump onto the stairs and whirl around at one of these hounds that is approaching you. And you can also feel cold radiating down the steps from behind you.
Okay.
All right. Zyrus.
The one that got shot by Daichi, is it still facing away from me?
It's basically facing Farnak. So it's facing into the room, so it would be facing in your direction, but it is sort of right up Farnak's, right on it in melee range.
All right, so could I end up with a sneak attack on this one?
Yeah, you get the sneak attack for your
Okay.
compatriot.
All right, I'm going to do a sneak attack then. All right, how about a 19?
A 19 hits.
Yes, with a crossbow. All right.
Okay.
Ooh, 11, 12, big one. 15 points of damage plus 2. All right, no, it's 15.
Okay. So yeah, your crossbow bolt slams into its side as you kind of worked your way around to get a good angle where it's distracted, and slams in, and it howls again, sort of throws back its head, and you can see frost and cold kind of radiating out of its muzzle, and the whole room shakes, and the people who are up and mobile are panicked and just like running around the room like mad.
All right, for my bonus action, I'm going to kind of point them towards the door, to the front door.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check.
17.
Okay. They're pretty panicked. They're running around. Some people are headed in that direction, but some people have no idea what they are doing. And Daichi.
Daichi's gonna keep shooting.
All right.
Worked so well last time, I'll just do sharpshooter again.
Ooh.
Oh, it finally happened!
Oh.
Misfire?
Yes!
Natural 1.
All right.
Sweet.
Yeah, so you go to fire
Yay.
again and click, click as your gun jams.
Shit.
All right.
This never happens. And because I have the second attack, can I like drop the gun, pull out my sword, and charge at one of them to cut an attack?
Yes.
Then yes. Oh, I actually have to look at this. I don't normally. 12.
All right. Yeah, so you run out and lunge with your sword, and the creature just steps sort of to the side. All right. So as everyone is running around in a panic, I need everybody, with the exception of Farnak and Daichi, I don't think they would be affected, to give me dexterity saving throws.
Oh, jeez. Oh, god damn it.
All right. How about a 21 for me?
Okay. Oh, and Wilby, you wouldn't be affected either.
Okay.
6.
Okay, so Oyawe, as people are running around in a panic, sort of in your direction, trying to head to the exit, consider yourself grappled for this turn. So your movement speed is 0.
I should have moved last turn.
And it's your turn.
Didn't I come after Daichi?
Oh no,
Yeah.
sorry, it's Farnak.
Is this guy?
Yeah.
Are they undead? Well, I mean, would I have rolled an extra damage dice versus undead for that? Because I rolled.
No.
No. Okay. All right. I'm gonna. I'm not really enjoying being frosty. I'm just going to go with the double strike here. So I'm gonna try and get up in the rib cage. That's 12 plus 6, 18.
Yep.
So this is 2. I'm not going to divine it. It's a total of 10 points of damage.
Okay.
And the second one comes in at another 18. And that one's going to come for 8 damage.
Okay. So yeah, 2 solid cracks. You can hear some of the ribs snap and pop.
God, this guy's tougher than the last one I fought.
Oh, Yahweh.
Oh yeah, me. Hi, I exist. I can't move.
Nope.
You're a
Can
caster.
I? What?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to talk. You're interrupting me.
You tell him,
can I-
Rachel.
What?
You tell him.
I will.
That's right.
I've been more bossy lately. I would actually like to cast a spiritual weapon,
Okay.
and
On which one?
I was actually going to see if I could have it start taking down the door, seeing as I think the closest person to the door is Wilby in panther form, and he can't open a door.
Well, so Wilby's on the stairs. He jumped over, so he's on the middle of the stairs.
Yeah.
There's a back door which is essentially non-existent, and there's
Isn't there a door at the top of the stairs?
no. There's stairs going up. I didn't say there's no door there.
Oops. Well,
There's people trying to flee out past you out to the front of the building.
Ugh.
Me neither.
I know. I'm not close enough to do anything.
You can also try and break the grapple.
Yes, please, dear God, get me out of this mess.
Yep, that'll take your action.
Okay.
Yep, so just go ahead and you get your choice of either an athletics or acrobatics check.
Oh, athletics is way better than acrobatics. That is a natural 20.
Okay, so yeah, you manage to sort of shrug your shoulders and like push with your forearms and get the people off of you.
Dragonborn's like, rah!
Can I make like a roaring sound to freak people out more so they get out of my way? Like that's right. Everybody move!
Yeah, and so what are you going to try and do with your movement?
Move towards the stairs.
Okay. All right. So you move over towards the stairs.
Yeah, no. They haven't attacked me, and they only had started attacking once he attacked them. So
Broke down the door. They
All
spooked
right.
me.
you're so-
So the hound that is on Farnak is going to jump forward and try and bite you. And that's not going to hit, as his teeth kind of just skitter off the plate. And the one on the stairs is going to sort of go and bite and try and sort of continue by. So he's going to try and like attack you just on his way by, Wilby.
Okay.
And that is a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that will hit.
So he chomps down and sort of shakes. That does 21 points of piercing damage.
Oh God.
Okay.
And I need you to make a strength save.
Okay, so that will take me out of the panther form. Do I make the strength save with
As Wilby. Yep.
as it will be? Yeah. That's a 18 actually.
Okay, so he's like trying to bear you down to the ground, but you manage to keep your feet, and then he's going to run by you. So you would get an attack of opportunity if you choose.
I'm going to let him go actually.
Okay, so he sort of continues charging up the stairs, and then it's your turn.
I'm going to follow him up the stairs
Okay.
and just see what he's doing. I'm not going to engage him at all.
Okay, sounds good. And he's basically using his movement. He goes up to the top of the stairs into a hallway, and you can see him swing his head and sort of sniff, and swings his head to the left down sort of the longer part of the corridor, and he starts making his way down that way. Cyrus.
I'm going to fire at that same one I did. Am I still going to be able to do a sneak attack on him?
Yep, Farnak is still all up in his grill.
All right. Natural 20.
Oh, all right.
Brutal.
That's going to be brutal with the sneak attack.
Yes. All right. So that's
Savage.
all right. 15, and I go ahead and double that, right?
You double all your dice. So like you roll twice as many dice as you would.
Okay. All right. So that's 15. 18, 24. 27 points of damage with a crossbow bolt.
Okay. So as this hound is sort of on Farnak snapping at him, you manage to get a shot off that catches right in the jaw and penetrates through its skull, and it sort of kind of whines and whimpers as it then falls over to the ground.
I'm so sad.
Daichi.
Daiji, seeing that this one's dead now and the other one's going upstairs, he's going to try and fix his gun and follow Wilby.
Okay. All right, so you spend your action. Well, you're going to have to move back to your gun, pick it up, take your action, and then start making your way over. So you're not going to catch up to him, but you're going to move over towards the stairs.
Okay.
Farnak.
My gun is fixed.
Can't hear you.
As I believe they have the one upstairs under control, thinking they're going to attack it, I'm going to rush over and just do a medicine check and see if I can find any one of the frostbitten people who managed to survive that.
Okay, go ahead and make a medicine check.
Oh, definitely not. That's only going to come to a total of 8.
Yeah, there was probably a total of about 4 people that were affected, and they are all definitely 100% dead.
Okay, I'm going to use the rest of my movement to follow up the stairs, and on my way out, do I see Jura and any of the panic?
He wasn't in this room. He was up in the front.
Oh, okay. So I'll head up the stairs.
Yeah, so you'll basically, because you have to spend most of your movement like checking people and moving around the floor, so you'll get to the stairs.
I'll flash a thumbs up to Zyrus.
All right. I'm going to start.
No, it's Oyawe first.
All right, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Oh, can't hear you.
No, I
I'm not
know.
saying it,
I was chewing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking.
That can explain why we couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
Really hungry.
People may be hearing Ella at the moment as well, purring into my microphone.
Become a constant.
Oh, I was going to heal Farnak before I ran up the stairs. He took 44 points of damage.
All right.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you could use your movement to get to Farnak and do that.
I was making my way towards the stairs. Is he?
He's like also approaching the stairs.
Okay, so I can just kind of hit him on the way and then go.
Yep.
Not actually hit him, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
Not that you haven't hit me before.
Wait, how many? Why do I have no spells left?
You should.
You were casting Identify a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's true. You cast Identify and Detect Magic.
I cast them as rituals, though, which means it doesn't waste a spell slot, right?
Yep.
That's right.
It says literally all but one of my spell slots was empty, so I'm pretty sure I just didn't reset it.
Yeah, I would assume.
Okay, so there we go. I am gonna do a Cure Wounds at level. I think that's my highest level healing spell.
Yep.
Because, damn, you took a lot of damage. So there's oh boy, 1, 2. Thank you. 3d8 plus 3. So that's 8. 8 and 5 is 13, plus 3 is 16. You got 16 health. Sorry, it's not a lot, but...
I could survive another one of those now. Wait, really?
And then she'll go closer, as close as she can, to getting up the stairs before Mr. Fire and Brimstone over here.
Okay. So Wilby, you can see the hound that you're following is like kind of running, moving relatively quickly down the hallway. It goes to go by a closed door and kind of skids to a stop, and then kind of goes towards the door and pushes it open. He kind of just stands up and like paws it. It appears it wasn't latched, and it opens and goes into the room, and you can hear like a snarl and a sound of like breaking, cracking ice. And then it is your turn.
I will go up to the door and see if I can see what's going on in there.
Okay, so as you peek in the door, you can see that the hound has his jaws wrapped around what appears to be a person, but the person is in the process of breaking into like chunks of ice on the bed, and he kind of just like shakes his head, and it collapses, and then it whirls around towards the door as if it's going to exit the room the first chance it gets.
I'll step back from the door to give him room to exit.
Okay, so you step back. So back downstairs, Zyrus.
All right. I'm going to herd a few of the people out the front door and out of the middle of all this as I can.
Okay. So give me another persuasion check with advantage.
All right. All right. That's going to give me a 15.
Okay. So yeah, you definitely start herding people out towards the front. They're definitely confused, scared, but they're willing, when someone kind of took control who they've seen do some damage to these creatures, they're willing to listen to you.
All right, good.
All right, so you get them ushered out. Daichi.
Daichi's going to continue his way upstairs.
Okay.
And ready an attack for if the wolf comes at him.
Okay.
If Daichi gets kind of within earshot of me, I'll turn to him and just say, I think they want the same thing we do, yes?
Oh.
Yep. Oyawe. Or Fernax, sorry.
I'm going to rush up next to Daichi, watching him get ready. I'm going to go for the full defense stance right next to him.
Okay.
But I'm going to get down on one knee next to him just in case that thing wants to jump over us. So
Okay.
I'm not blocking too much of the...
All right. Oyawe.
How far up the stairs am I? Probably kind of like only
You were
part
sort of
the
just
way,
at the
right?
bottom of the stairs. You could
Yeah.
you could go up, same as everybody else.
Would I have heard Wilby speaking to Daichi?
Make a perception check.
Oh, please, dear God. Hey, I actually have a plus in that one, so. Ha! Yay, that's a 19.
Okay. You did hear at least part of the message. He was speaking sort of loud enough, and you have sensitive enough dragon hearing that you mostly heard.
All right, then I'm going to move away from the stairs, actually, and not stand right directly in front of it, because I don't really feel like being an elemental wolf chow. No thanks.
All right. So, Wilby, the creature sort of gallops out into the corridor, and it sees you've stepped back. So the stairs would be to its right as it's exiting, right? And there was more corridor that would continue down to its left. Like it stopped basically halfway down the corridor. Which side of the door did you step out onto?
I would be on the right So
Okay, on its right. Yep, so on
Yeah.
the stair side.
Yeah.
Okay, so it skids out and swings its head towards you, and it sort of huffs a little bit and like exhales heavily out its nostrils, and you can see sort of ice and mist kind of steam out, and it just looks at you, and it kind of motions over and like taps your hand a little bit with its nose, and then swings to the left and moves down towards where there's a large set of double doors at the end of the hallway.
Okay, I will follow on my turn.
Yeah, and it bellows as it sort of runs, gaining speed as it goes towards the door, and jumps up and like just crashes into the door and kind of cartwheels through. So Wilby, it is
This is a fun
your
one.
turn.
Yeah, I will follow as me as quickly as I can
Okay.
to the door.
Yep. So as you approach the door, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Oh.
19.
Okay. So you can feel just this sort of dark energy wafting out of the room. But as you approach, you kind of just bear down and go through it. The room beyond is quite dim, and all that you can make out in the dim light is ice and shadow moving slowly across the floor of the room, almost like sand dunes, like just these drifting dunes of ice and shadow congealed together, and shadows kind of writhing around the room. And do you enter?
No, I will stay at the doorway
Okay.
and try and cast Call Lightning if I can in this room.
All right. And there's no restrictions on that to be like outside or anything, right?
Not outside, but I think there's a
You get a bonus if there's
Yeah.
storms. Okay. And so where does that let you summon it? So you can
it's
do it
100.
in the room?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And, just have it ready there. Is all I'm intending to do.
Okay. So because you cast it on a point, right? Or like a cylinder?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a 60-foot radius, so yeah, you can cover the whole room.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Perfect. So yes, you call that, and the room starts getting like statically charged, and you can see bits of lighting arcing sort of around the room.
Okay.
Zyrus, so downstairs, as you turn back from ushering people out, you can see people have all kind of moved upstairs.
All right, I'm going to slide in behind them, but kind of creeping as I go, kind of not moving too fast.
I'm still
Okay.
at the bottom.
Yeah, so you kind of creep by Oyawe and make your way up the stairs. And you get sort of to the top, and you can just see Farnak and Daichi there with Farnak kneeling. And you can probably just make out Wilby in the doorway at the far end of the room. But since you're creeping along, that's basically going to use, your
pretty much
movement.
my own movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have anything that you want to do in terms of action or anything?
I'm just going to make sure my crossbow's ready, and I'm kind of watching to see what's going on.
Okay. Daichi.
Daichi is going to use Second Wind
Okay.
just to use that, and then run after to Wilby to stand by him.
All
I just
right.
kind of mumbled to him.
Give me a wisdom save.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing.
Mm.
That's I think 20.
Okay.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah, so similar, you can feel this sort of horrific darkness pushing out of the room and some sort of magical effect, but you shake it off. Varnak.
Right. As Daichi's running past me, I'm going to do the same thing and take a deep breath and just settle myself, second wind, for 6 points of healing, and I'm going to mutter as I go, I still don't feel bad about killing the other one, and charge in afterwards.
Okay, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom's a good one of mine, so 17 on the dice.
Okay.
Please.
Yep,
Yep.
so, you're good. Oyalwe, at the bottom of the stairs, you can hear some like thumps and rattles and boots as people start running down the hallway.
Yeah, they all left me behind and didn't tell me what's going on, so I'm gonna follow. I thought that I was gonna charge downstairs. That didn't happen. So I will make my way up there.
All right.
So yeah. I don't know how close I can get with. What?
You use your action to dash.
I know. I just didn't know how close I could get.
You basically, from just your movement, you get up to the top of the stairs. But yes, if you took your action to dash, you could dash down the hall.
Here is my. I don't have it. Was it a cantrip?
What was it?
Light.
What was a cantrip?
Light's a
Why
cantrip.
do I not?
Lights again.
Light's a cantrip, yep.
I got rid of it? I'm surprised. Huh. I'm really sad. I didn't realize I'd gotten rid of that. Well, never mind. I'll just get as far as I can and wait.
Okay, yep. So you're running towards the door?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Good thing that's a +6.
Yeah.
Oh, very good thing it was a +6. That's 13.
Okay. So,
Yep.
as you approach the door, you can just feel this wave of like horror wash over you. You are frightened of whatever is in the room.
Yeah, guys, I don't think we should go in there. Like, no.
So you basically can't willingly move closer towards whatever it is, which you can't quite see yet. And you have like disadvantage on attack rolls made against it.
Whatever it might be.
Whatever it might be.
The cleric freezing up against undead.
And so you can hear this howling inside, and you see the hound sort of rush in and jump at this bit of humanoid sort of shadow that appears to be kind of like lounging on one of these moving dune drifts of ice and shadow. And the creature sort of looks at it and just goes, "It's not you I wanted." And you can see as the hound kind of jumps at it that he jumps through and then just crashes into the far wall and then yelps as this like tendrils of shadow kind of wrap around it and pull it across the floor into a region of deeper shadow, and it appears to disappear. And that is where we are going to take a short break. So thanks everyone who is watching. We will be back in about 10 minutes or so with the continuation. Okay.
So sad.
Welcome back. So, welcome back everybody to our second half of episode 2 of Under Dark Clouds. So when we left off, our heroes had all been charging down this hallway to a darkened room with a shadowy being inside that just shadow ate one of these hounds of night, hauling it off into you're not sure where. And so you're all just looking into this room. And Oyawe is frightened.
Yeah, let's not go in there. No.
So as you peer in, it's dimly lit. You can just see these, drifts of ice and shadow. And there is a figure sort of lounging on one that you had seen this hound kind of jump through.
Right.
And as you look closely at it, on its head, it appears like it's wearing a crown.
In typical Farnak fashion, Farnak steps in, lowers his weapon, lowers his shield, and just says, "And what is this all about?"
All right, so as you step into the room, make a dex save.
Oh, gosh. Yay.
Oh boy, this is gonna get good.
Matt's shirt. Matt's
There's eyes
shirt.
on the floor.
Is that a natural one?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so as you step...
That's a 0.
Yep. So as you step into the room, your booted foot steps on what you expect to be, a wooden floor. And it is slippery, just like a skating rink with ice. Your foot slides out, does the banana peel out in front of you, and you land prone flat on your back. And the shadowy figure just laughs. You hear this like,
My lumbago!
That is the funniest thing I've seen since I've been free. It feels so good to laugh again.
I'm pulling lightning down on the figure.
All right.
Just
Am I close enough to do a sharpshooter on this one with my crossbow?
So I'm trying to remember. I think when we left off, you were still at the back of the...
Yeah, I'm at the back of
hallway.
everybody. So, but I'm not. I can't even see in, can I?
Yeah, everyone's sort of clustered around in front of the doorway. So I would say he effectively has total cover.
Okay. I don't think that would help me.
No, sharpshooter ignores half and
Half and partial. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, Wilby starts calling down lightning.
You just attacked without even talking. I didn't say movie.
That's true.
It's a
Who needs to
dex
talk?
save.
Fire everything.
Hey, Farnick, get ready.
All right.
Oh, no, sorry, far next in there too.
Get on
Yeah.
your feet.
And water conducts electricity.
Yippee.
That's true.
Wonderful, you guys.
Okay, so it makes a dex save, and what's the DC?
DC 15.
All right, so it doesn't succeed as the lightning lances into it.
Okay. So, well, that's a miserable roll. That's 13.
Okay. Okay, so some of the lightning goes through. Some of the bolts seem to kind of just vanish through it, although a few do hit. So you get the impression that it, isn't quite as effective.
Right.
So I need you guys all to roll initiative again.
Not bad. Not better than last time.
I got the opposite of what I got.
All right, Daichi,
6.
Farnak.
Hateful Eight forever.
Oyawe.
I got a 15.
Wilby.
12.
Zyrus.
I'm with Wilby. I took a 12 also.
All right. So you'll go first because you have a higher initiative or a higher dex than he does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
just a
think
little.
most people do.
So as the lightning lances into this shadowy figure, it kind of laughs and goes, "Oh my, that's mighty rude of you. I'm just trying to enjoy my newfound freedom." And Oyawe, it is your turn.
I'm gonna sit on the ground. I can't go anywhere near it. I I don't want to see what it looks like. He sounds like an asshole, and I'm no. I'm not getting my little dragon butt fried. I'm gonna sit right where I am stubbornly and not move.
All right. So Zyrus, you're at the back of the hallway, but you can use your movement to get up to where they are.
All right, I'm going to move up to where they are, and that should get me in range for a shot for next time. Should.
You'd still have your action.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and take a shot with my crossbow.
Okay.
All right. How about a 20? Not a natural, but...
Absolutely.
And 5 points of damage on it.
Okay. So there's like a small tearing sound as the bolt like goes through this shadowy substance, and you could see it, shred a little bit. But otherwise it kind of passes through and then embeds in the wall behind it.
Okay. At least I can recover it next time.
Will be.
I am going to turn into a gecko, actually.
Okay.
Climb up the wall.
All right.
And go inside at
Yep.
the top.
All right. So yeah, you avoid the floor and you're crawling along the wall.
Yep.
Okay. Excellent.
And I'm going to try work my way around to where I saw the hound be pulled off to.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so you start going around into the back corner. Probably next round you'll get there after your movement. Okay. So the entity just sort of, again, does this. When you want someone to leave, you should ask politely. I know I've been away from the world for some time, but you're all just so rude. And it floats over towards Farnak, who is on the ground, and its hands kind of just like rake out with this shadowy substance.
But I didn't do anything. I'm not rude, did I?
All right. So that is the highest there would be 16, so that won't hit. But then a natural 20 on the second, so that does
A whole lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
Murder.
Oh man.
that does 41 points of cold damage,
Holy smoke.
and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
41 points of cold damage.
That's a saving throw Constitution 21.
21. Okay. So yeah, you can feel it sort of like pulling and trying to sap some of the strength and vitality out of you, but it doesn't manage to. All right.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's a bonus action.
We can hear you guys whispering.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That
Doesn't help. Try not to interrupt you guys. Sorry.
And Farnak, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm going to use half my movement to stand up, and while I do that, I'm just going to say, can we quit acting like children and just talk? And I don't attack.
Well, you're the ones who got violent.
I walked in and I tripped.
Mm-hmm.
My shield was down, my weapon was down.
And your little friend, he threw lightning bolts at me. By the way, where did he go? And you see this like shadowy head kind of like scanning around the room.
I'm just gonna just turn around to everyone. I don't have anything in my hands. My shield's on the ground. My thing's on the ground. I just have my hands out.
Yep. Daichi.
If you think that's the wise one, I guess so.
Well, it worked with the Lich.
You know what? That's I don't know I don't know the lich.
You would have heard probably the tail.
I know the white. So we seem to have good luck with that. So he holsters his gun.
All right. Oyawe, what are you doing?
Any should be severely interested in what's trying to terrify her, but not go anywhere closer to it, not say anything to him, just like, nope, stay right here. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it is like a shadowy, kind of indistinct figure, although it appears to be wearing like a crown.
Can I make a check to see if I know what it is?
Sure, make an Arcana check.
Yay. Oh, that's not bad. 17.
It appears to be related to a shadow, but it seems like it's much more powerful.
All right. I said, your ice powers are cool. Don't hurt me, please.
Zyrus and Wilby, what are you guys doing? You can see Farnak kind of conversing with it.
I'm going to just kind of cover Farnak and kind of hold off and wait for a second and see what's going to happen.
Okay. Wilby, if you continue with your original plan, you sort of get over to this dark corner.
Do I see anything of interest?
Give me an investigation check.
That's 11.
Okay. As you're poking around, you see what appears to be a collar on the ground that has this crescent moon and star symbol on it.
I presumably recognize that.
It's the Court of Star and Shadows, like insignia.
I'm going to send Farnak some healing with Balm and Semi-Court.
Okay.
Do I roll that or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 9 plus 2 temporary, 2 Farnak.
9 plus 2.
And going to start getting down to that collar.
Okay. Still with your movement poking around. I'd say you were actually kind of at the collar when you found it, sort of poking around.
Okay. Does it look like it's size for the
It
hounds?
does.
Go ahead and come out of my form.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that because
the bomb's a bonus, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then you sort of reappear, and the shadow looks over and goes, that was the chief rude one. Terribly rude.
I am very sorry, mister.
I don't know if any of you have ever been imprisoned for 1,600 years.
Oh, that is a very long time.
Very long time indeed. And it was such a bleak and dreary prison.
What were you in prison for, if it's not too much to ask?
Oh, well, when one plays with magical forces, sometimes they get a little out of hand. Details are a bit foggy, you understand. It's been some time.
I would imagine so, yes.
And I have to say, although this, and you can see the entity sort of raise its hands and kind of like a gesture around the room, is not up to my usual standards of finery, but compared to where I just spent the last 1,600 years, it is some improvement. I found I've rather made myself at home.
What kind of place would you prefer?
Oh, you know, palaces, opulence, lots of marble, gold, rich decorations, tapestries. Kind of holds his hands up and kind of like looks at them. Substantial flesh would be nice too. I don't particularly like this form.
I do not know of any such place.
There used to be one here. I had a tower.
Is it part of the bridge?
No. Who would make a tower part of a bridge? Oh, I suppose some people build those fortifications. No, I don't mean that kind of tower. A nice spire, tall, splendid, opulent, richly appointed. Full of servants and laboratories.
When there was one here 1,600 years ago.
Well, yes, considering I've been imprisoned for 1,600 years and I had it, one would assume that it was here when I was.
Wasn't that bridge here before?
Yes, of course. I made it. My crowning achievement. And also my downfall. Cursed bridge.
We always squealing excitedly from the hall. Your bridge is magnificent. It's amazing. I wish I could get closer, but I can't.
Yes, of course. It is a fine, fantastic bridge. I constructed it myself. A very elaborate ritual. Took all kinds of doodads and inscriptions and such.
Did you have a tower?
Well, how did you get back now after all this time?
What's the white's name?
Oh, well, you know. The stars aligned, as it were. Everything worked out just so.
Who are you?
Well, my name... Now that I think about it, it has positively fled my mind. Think, what was it? Oh, yes, Ergast.
Do I recognize the name?
Make a history check.
Can you spell it, please?
Ergast.
Oh.
5.
Never heard of it. Now, as much as I enjoy the chit-chat and banter after so long with such dull company to keep, you are being all rather rude loitering in my bedchamber.
We are paying patrons also.
Yes, of the inn, not of this room. Besides, I rather like to think that I've taken ownership, as it were. Rights of land. I was here first.
You're mistreating the staff.
Well, can't be helped. I didn't do it on purpose.
No, you said something before the wolf disappeared. You're waiting for someone.
I just said he wasn't the one that I wanted. Not quite the same thing.
Meaning there is one that you want.
Well, there's many things preferable to one of those. Not even quite sure what it is, but I didn't like the look of it. Looked nasty and vicious.
Are you talking about a body?
What body?
You said you want flesh.
Yes, I'd like flesh.
So why do you sit here in a cold room? Are you just waiting for somebody to come along and take them?
Well, I haven't quite decided, but, you know, occupying a body is rather difficult work. Not necessarily the thing I can do overnight. You ask a lot of questions, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Yes, you do. It is rather trying on my patience. I don't feel like I need to explain my life's work to you. Who are you, anyway?
Just some wanderers.
Yes, wanderers and sellswords. We had those in my time, too. A bother half the time.
What would it take to get you to leave the people of this town?
What do you have to offer? It must be interesting and precious.
Don't you wish to see the world, look for something outside, or do you prefer to stand around until the tower springs out of the ground?
Well, I might just do that.
It's not how towers work. Sorry.
I did it with the bridge. It was a rather lengthy ritual and preparation, but when I finally completed it, poof, there it was. And then, poof, there I went.
Oh. Oh, so you disappeared immediately as the bridge showed up.
Well, roughly. I did get to enjoy the fruits of my labor for at least a second or two.
Why did you make the bridge?
Why does one do anything? My crowning achievement. Build something out of the raw stuff of shadow. Big, it is magnificent, is it not? Big, grand, imposing. Has stood here for 1,600 years. Have you built anything that has lasted for 1,600 years?
Oh no.
Exactly.
So you're a bridge maker. That's your legacy.
Again, have you built anything instantaneously that has lasted for 1,600 years?
I don't really see the point.
Yes, well, small minds and all that. Focused on gold or praying to your god or whatever it is you do. Now, you asked about what it would take. And I said, well, what do you offer? And now you just continue to be kind of a pest.
Well, I could offer 1,000 things, and you could say no to each one. So if you would care to narrow down the field a bit, we could go from there.
Well, I said precious, interesting. Obviously, I like magical things.
I know of a tower, but
Oh, Lord.
not within this realm.
Mm-mm.
Yes, but, having some things to regain my strength and work with, I feel I could do great things.
But there is an entire empire across the sheltered sea. If you wish to travel.
I don't understand what you're talking about. We're talking about things, and now you're talking about empires.
Yes, isn't that the end goal? You
No.
want power, you want servants, you want palaces. Wouldn't an empire have all of those?
That is, you're assuming many, many things.
Okay, well, you may leave. We have a caravan to head south. We just want to catch night. You stay here in this boring little town with your bridge.
Yes, well, it is my bridge, and it is fantastic, and I think that you are not offering me anything of much worth, and frankly, as time goes on, your limited abilities at the exchange of pleasantries is getting tiresome.
I could offer you a sack that makes spices. Do you really think some adventurers who've only been around for a couple years, by your standards, minutes, could offer you anything when you can make a bridge with your mind?
Yes, quite possibly. You haven't even offered anything.
Is Ori always still scared at this point? Does
Yeah.
that wear off at any point?
You don't know.
Okay.
You're not the only one who can craft that kind of stuff.
What are you doing?
Dragon over there can.
Hi.
Mhm. Yes.
You've been out of touch of your skills for quite some time. Why don't you show us what you can make?
You talking to him or to me?
No, him.
Okay.
Brennan gets a look in his eye and goes and stands over by Daichi and just kind of tries to nudge him to come out of the room.
Just a sec. Dachi follows Fernick.
We have something of interest.
We do, but we also have the thing that almost killed you. Do you want to get that?
Well, we have a very large item on a wagon.
Are we sure we want to give this thing up?
Well, all the pieces have been taken apart. I doubt he's going to go to the Theus and start looking for whatever it is. The fact that he may not even know what it becomes. He's probably listening in right now.
Probably.
Right now
it's
it's just,
large and beautiful.
and it's something to offer. Though the question is, if he does accept it, where would he then choose to go?
Oh, I see what you're talking
It is of your people, and the mission is to find a place for it.
about. The place for it being some random shadow creature that messes with people's minds.
Is the question. At least he's not a hag, right?
You hear behind you in the room, and you kind of glance over, and the entity is kind of like lounging on one of these drifts again, and you can just hear him going, "Do do 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 do."
Okay.
I'm going to pick up the collar and start walking out of the room too.
Yep. You can see like there's a bit of ice on it, and sort of like shadows kind of wreathing around the collar.
Okay.
Grasping at straws here for what we have that would be more powerful than the orb.
Very well want to learn the rest of them and go after the other parts. If he can make a bridge out of nothing, what's to say that he can't exactly find the rest of this stuff? He just ate a dog into shadow. The dog that almost killed you again.
He only came after me after we, not I, we all attacked.
I didn't shoot him yet.
Yeah, you
For
did.
once.
Yeah, you
This
did.
was weird.
Yeah, you
Turn
did.
to the singing creature and just go, how did the man in the other room turn to ice? Talking to the guy in the other room that turned to ice.
Oh, accidentally, I suppose. Took a fright when I appeared. Had a heart attack. The current state I'm in sometimes has unattended side effects.
Right. I don't think we should give him anything. I think he should die.
Yeah. If I get up to them, I will say, I do not think we should trust this one, but I do not think we can defeat him at this point.
He took that crossbow bolt like it was nothing.
To be fair, we don't know that he's actually an evil creature.
He's undead. And he's,
So is our librarian. I've
Did our
conversed with a
librarian-
lich who let me walk away.
did our librarian freeze people and drive other people mad?
I'm gonna roll insight and see if I trust that what he said about just the death of that man was an accident.
Sure.
That's comes to a total of 17.
Yeah. Doesn't appear to be being deceptive.
So what we know, he made a bridge because he felt like it.
You like really. I'm trying to think of the words. Give me a second. Sorry. Fancy, opulent looking items and places. Would you be opposed to me making you a suit of armor to fit your standards until you can find yourself a vessel?
I'm not much one for armor.
It would be more like a metal vessel instead of having a flesh one until you can find one. And that way you're not...
And then I'm supposed to just clink and clank and clack around.
I was
Yes.
trying. I'm sorry. I
I
mean,
mean-
I can...
And he points at Fernak and goes, he has interesting armor.
I can make armor that looks exactly like that.
But would it be exactly like that? Or would it just look exactly like that? It's not so much the look I'm interested in, but the essence.
Not at the point where I can enchant stuff yet.
Karnak's just kind of huddling in on his armor.
It's mine. I earned it.
It's going to be in all the fan art.
I'm not saying it has to be that armor, but I'm just pointing out that it is interesting, special.
Then I could enchant it for you so long as I can find the components.
Hey, you want to stay around for the length of time it takes you to do that? Be my guest. Come back when you're done.
He's driving people mad downstairs and killing people by freezing them. Even by accident, this is a problem.
I didn't kill
Yeah.
him by freezing him. He got scared. Poor ticker went boom. Wasn't my fault.
You scared somebody to death by literally existing.
Well, again, how is that my fault? I can't
Because
help.
you're choosing... No, you're choosing to stay around people. Most
Yes.
people who go, oh my God, I'm killing people by being around them, would no longer be around them.
Well, I'm not
If they-
killing people by being around them now. That one person happened to die when I appeared.
Have you not met the people downstairs? They have some serious problems right now.
Are they dying?
Actually, yes.
By me?
I am not sure.
There you
I
go.
think you indirectly have an effect on
You are
their...
driving them crazy.
Oh, well. Sometimes it can't be helped. Now,
It can't be helped. Go away from civilization.
no, I think not. Now, either offer me something or leave. Go
I can
about
give you
go on your merry way.
Will there be something in this town we could acquire for you?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure exactly what is here.
Something that may have been buried 1600 years ago, something you left behind when you disappeared.
I don't know. I didn't bury anything. What happened to it after I'm gone? I have no idea.
No sentimental then.
No, it's more a matter of I literally have no idea. I've been trapped, not here.
He also did forget his name for a little bit, so, I mean, give him a break on the memory.
I can relate to that.
Because magical entities that can murder other people don't exactly make Oyawe want to be a jerk.
Yeah.
Die.
You say you are looking for a body to inhabit, yes?
Well, that is one thing I wish to acquire, yes. You can't just hop into one.
Well, yes, but are you looking for something in particular?
Well, something suitable, whether I can make it or find it, I suppose. Healthy, not dead. Preferably male. I'm not married to that, but preferably. Attractive. Suitably regal looking.
He just kind of shakes his head and takes a step back.
Well,
Well, perhaps you should continue to consult and deliberate amongst yourselves, but quite frankly, I'm bored with the ceaseless questions.
There's much to think about.
Yes, we'll just think about it and do it somewhere else.
In the meantime, would you allow the staff to take a break? Go home, take a nap.
Well, I'm not quite sure that I can do anything about it. Like I said, inadvertent effects and all.
he has no control over what's happening to the people around him.
Now, like I said, I am bored.
Farnax walking out.
I couldn't even enter the room. I'm still terrified sitting outside of it.
Just yelling from down the hallway.
And he sort of makes a gesture, and some of the shadow like kind of coalesces around the fragments of wooden door and like reassemble it and kind of hold it. You can still see all the cracks in it. It's not fixed, but like the shadow is holding it together. You can see like bits of frost across it, helping to keep it together.
Heading back downstairs to see what chaos is left over from the hounds.
So most of the people are gone. So Zyrus got people out, and the others, there's like 4 people that were killed by the hound's breath on the ground, and there's another 1, 2, 4 people, 2 of which, so Ava and the serving girl whose name you didn't get, that are still unconscious kind of in the hallway. And as you poke around, there's 2 people who are just kind of quivering and scared, tucked away in the pantry in the kitchen.
Just say to the ones in the pantry, just go where you can. Take Ava and the other waitress.
I can't leave.
Go pick them up and see if it can physically be carried out.
Okay. So as you cross the threshold with one of them, they start like convulsing.
Okay, hands back in, lay on hands for 5 points.
Okay. And as you're doing this, a couple of individuals in armor and like the regalia of the city are approaching the inn.
I'm stepping back in with the person and setting them down at a table.
And and as you're like kind of going out and then back in with the body, one of the guards just yells out, "Hey, you! Hold there!" And they start breaking out in a run towards the inn. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Oh, man.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And we will be back in 2 weeks for episode 3.
Thanks, y'all.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
No.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.